guys, how are you doing? This is Airplane Mode and I am back here with a brand new video. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and if you are on spring break, an amazing spring break. Today we will once again be flying the Zibo 737-800 as Alaska Airlines Flight 673. Today's flight will take us the very short distance of Seattle to Vancouver. As I said, this is a very short flight, but it still should be fun and hopefully still entertaining to you. Once again, guys, everything has been configured and the FMC has been programmed, so once again, we can jump into the cockpit and get started. Guys, welcome aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 673 with service from Seattle Tacoma Airport down to Vancouver International Airport. The flight should take us about 55 minutes to do with 158 passengers on board and a cruising altitude of 18,000 feet. As I said before, everything has been configured except for the MCP panel, so we can go ahead and set that up now. Alright guys, now that we are here at our MCP panel, we can go ahead and get started. So obviously, as you can see, I just estimated 170 knots for my V2 plus 20 speed, because once again, go figure, my V speeds did not load. I don't know, maybe there's a bug, I'm not sure exactly, so I'm not going to go into all the details. But anyway, moving on for our heading. The heading for runway 34 right, which is our departure runway, is 344 degrees, so we can go ahead and set 344 degrees right here. And we are going to be flying with LNAV, obviously, and for our altitude, we can go ahead and just set 18,000 here. You know, I usually don't set any of the step climbs for our departure. Anyway, moving on, we can go ahead and turn on our other flight director, and with that, we are pretty much set to go down to our FMC and check that out. Alright guys, so obviously, as you can see, our origin airport is Seattle, and our destination airport is Vancouver, or Charlie Yankee Victor Romeo, and obviously we have a flight number of Alaska Airlines Flight 963. Moving to our departure and arrival index, you can see here that at our departure section, we are departing off of runway 34 right, but once again, we are not departing with a departure, just because that is what SimBrief said, and that is what the real flight calls for, so I'm just going to go ahead and go off of the realistic flight that is happening now. Moving to our arrival index, you can see that we are arriving on the GRIS 5 arrival with the pay transition, and we are doing an ILS for runway 8 right. With all that being said, we can go ahead, jump back up to the seat, and get started with some of our other checklists. Alright guys, so to get started here, we can go ahead and turn all of our fuel pumps on, including our center fuel pumps, because all of them are fueled up nicely. We can go ahead and turn our electric hydraulic pumps on, as well as our anti-collision lights. Our trims are set, so once again, we do not have to worry about any of those guys, and also we can go ahead and shut both of our packs off for push and start. With all that being said, we can go ahead and clear our ground service, so we can go ahead, release our parking brake. As you can see, that is also going to go ahead and release the gate, and with all that, we can go ahead and call our pushback. Once again, I did already pre-plan my pushback, so that is not going to be an issue.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, our tow is driving up. Obviously, once again, you can see it there. Once again, guys, I'm going to just wait until he comes up and we are ready to push back, and I will see you guys then. Alright guys, so we just got the clearance to release our parking brake so we can begin our pushback, so obviously we're going to do as we were told. Release our parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
He's going to start pushing us back, and once again we have been cleared to start our engines, so I'm just going to go ahead and start that now because I am not in the mood to wait. So anyway, we can go ahead and set engine 2 to the ground position and wait for engine 2 to reach 25%. Alright guys, there's 25%. We can go ahead and introduce fuel to engine 2. And now that engine 2 has successfully started up, we can go ahead and start engine 1. So we can go ahead and set engine 1 to the ground position, and we can wait for engine 1 to reach 25%. And now that engine 1 has reached 25%, we can go ahead and introduce fuel. And now that engine 1 has successfully started up, we can go ahead and begin some of our after start checklists. So we can go ahead and turn both of our generators on. We can turn our Pro P switches on, and we can go ahead and set our packs back to their auto position. Isolation valve can go to auto. APU bleed can come off, and APU itself can come off. With all that being done, we can go ahead and set our flaps to flaps 5, so we can go ahead and wait for our flaps to set. Alright, and now that our flaps have been set, we can go ahead and test our flight controls, so we can go ahead and check out our flight displays here. We can go full back, looks good, full forward, full left, full right, and for our rudders, we can go full right, and rudders full left. All of our flight controls look okay there. With all that being done, we can go ahead and turn our runway turn-off lights on, taxi lights can come on, engine start switches can go to their continuous position. We can turn our terrain on, and that should be good. One more thing, actually, we can go ahead and turn on our windshield wipers, only because it does seem to be raining outside and we do not want rain to be interfering with our flight. So with that,
is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
we can go ahead, wait for him to give us the hand signals, and then we will be off. Alright guys, there's our hand signals. We can go ahead and center ourselves, release our parking brake, and taxi to runway 34 right. Alright, we can go ahead and perform a little bit of a brakes test here, so we can go ahead, tap our brakes, they all look good, and just continue our taxi to runway 34 right. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are approaching the hold short line for runway 34 right, but I do want to do a rolling takeoff, so we're going to go ahead and start our before takeoff checklist now, so we can go ahead, turn all of our landing lights on, taxi lights and runway turn-off lights off, and our position light can go to strobe and steady, and we can clarify that our flaps are set to flaps 5. Everything looks good, and like I said, we are going to do a rolling takeoff, so we can go ahead, taxi onto the runway. And we can stabilize our engines. And I'm looking for a rotation speed of 125 knots without. Engine stable. And full throttle. Power set. Airspeed's alive.
80 knots.
Cross check. Alright, V1, rotate. Slow pull back on the yoke here.
Positive brake.
You're up. Alright. 400. Coming up here, we can go ahead and engage our VNAV, and we can turn on our autopilot, and all of that should
1,000.
Alright, there's 1,000. We can go ahead and put our flaps up, as well as set our gear to their off position. And with all of that being done, guys, our after takeoff checklist is done, and I'd call that a successful departure out of Seattle. Alright guys, now that we are basically crossing through 10,000 feet, we can go ahead and turn all of our landing lights off. We can set our engine start switches to auto position lights to come down to steady, and we can go ahead and shut off our fasten seatbelt signs so our passengers are free to roam throughout the cabin. And with that, I will see you guys at 18,000 feet. Alright guys, we are coming up on 18,000 feet / our cruising altitude, so we can go ahead and set our altimeters to standard. And now that we are above the clouds, we can go ahead and shut our windshield wipers off. And with that guys, we are pretty much set for the rest of the flight, so I will see you at top of descent. Guys, already we are starting our descent. Sorry I did not alert you before, but I was completely unaware that the plane had started its descent, but clearly the plane had intentions to do something that I totally did not want it to do. Nonetheless, we are starting our descent, so we can go ahead, take our altimeters off of standard and set Vancouver's altimeter, which today is 2953. So we can go ahead and set so we can set 2953. with that, I'm just going to let the plane descend, and I will alert you guys when we reach our next altitude restriction. Also, now that we have started our descent, I'm going to go ahead and set my engine start switches to continuous, and that is it for a little bit of time. Alright guys, so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and drop my altitude to 11,000 feet, which is our next altitude restriction, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up the descent rate and just set this to 1,700 feet right there, and just let the plane descend. Alright guys, so as it is right now, we are a little bit ahead of the game. We are already at the altitude restriction for this waypoint, and we still have about 29 nautical miles left for this waypoint. So even though we are set on altitude, we are not set on speed, and we have to drop our speed to 250 knots, so we can go ahead and do that now. And I will see you guys when we reach our next altitude restriction. Alright guys, I am going to go ahead and start my descent, so I'm going to set this to my next altitude restriction of a shocking low 4,000 feet, and I'm going to go down at about 2,200 feet per minute because I have to reach this altitude in under 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and set that. Actually, I'll just do 2,300 right there. Also, since we are about to cross through 10,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and turn all of my landing lights on, runway turn-off lights on. We can go ahead and turn our fasten seatbelt signs on, position lights can come to strobe and steady, and with that, everything is pretty much set to go. We can go ahead and complete the plane to descend. Also, one more thing I am going to do at this time is set up my approach rep so we can head down to our FMC, hit init rep. Our gross weight, obviously, as you can see, is 115.3, and we are once again going to be flying a flaps 40 landing, so we can go ahead and select 125. Obviously, with our wing correction, adding 5 to that would be 130 knots for our VREF, so we can go ahead and set 40/125 right there, and set that in right there. So once again, 130 knots for our VREF. We'll head back to our legs page right there, and ourselves once again, and I will see you at my next altitude restriction. And as you can hear and you can see on the windshield, it is raining once again, so I'm going to go ahead and set my windshield wipers just to their low position right there, just so we do not have interference during the rest of our approach. Alright guys, right now at this time, I'm going to go ahead and reduce my speed to 200 knots, because that is what the FMC calls for. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and wait for the plane to descend to 4,000 feet. And obviously 4,000 feet is our altitude restriction for the next few waypoints, so I'm going to go ahead and alert you guys when we have to descend further than 4,000 feet. Alright guys, we do have to descend lower now, so I'm going to go ahead and set this guy to 1,400 feet right here, because that is the altitude restriction, 1,400 feet right there. And I'm going to go ahead and descend at about 1,400 feet per minute, because I don't want to descend too fast, but I do want to get down to the airport on time. Also, I have to just drop my speed to 142 knots, and that should be good for right now. And now that we are on final approach, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some flaps. So I'm going to start off by setting my flaps to flaps 5, and I'm going to set my auto brake to auto brake setting of 1. Also at this time, I'm going to go ahead and drop my landing gear, so we can go ahead and drop here, there. And guys, I am right now going to go ahead and cut my descent, because I'm getting the feeling that I am a little bit too low, plus the ILS is telling us that we are a little bit too low, so we want to go ahead and try to get that at the little middle marker right there. I do see a little bit of light right there, and I'm assuming that is the runway, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep my eye on that. Luckily, the clouds seem to have disappeared for now, at least. Right now, this time, I'm going to go ahead and set my flaps to flaps 15, and hopefully that helps me slow down a little bit. Once this reaches the middle line right here, I'm going to go ahead and set my approach. And now that my marker is at the middle line, I'm going to go ahead and set the approach right there and let the plane do its thing. I am also going to go ahead and set my flaps to flaps 30, as well as drop my speed to 140 knots. And once again, guys, as you can see here, we are going to have a dead-on crosswind, so this might be another tricky approach like yesterday, but hopefully it's not, and we can get the plane down safe. Alright guys, I am going to go ahead and set flaps 40, and I'm going to go ahead and release my autopilot now. Oops, right there. And take control of the airplane as well as the speed. I am also finally going to go ahead and set my auto brake to 2, because I haven't really studied Vancouver's runways, and I do not know how long this runway is. And once again, we're aiming for a VREP of about 130 knots. I'm just going to go ahead and do what I think is best. Okay, this is quite a bit of a crosswind. This is actually pretty intense, not going to lie. Don't want to be too high.
100. 50,
Try to stay in the center.
40,
Idling.
30,
Thrust.
20, 10.
Hold the nose up here. And
Light slow.
there we go. Alright, we got excellent landing. I'm pretty happy with that. We can go ahead and reverse thrust here. And we can go ahead and deploy our speed brakes. I did forget to on my speed brakes. Alright, there's 70 manual braking here. Whew, guys, welcome to Vancouver. That was definitely a really hard approach. And alright, we can go ahead and put up our landing lights and turn on our taxi lights, as well as start our APU. That guy. Right there, we can turn our engine start switches back to auto. Probe heats can come off. Let's see, we can put our position lights are okay how they are. Not much to change there. Everything looks good. We can go ahead and just taxi on to the ramp. Guys, we can go ahead and shut off our windshield wipers, and we can go ahead and turn on our APU generators just so those guys are set. We can shut our auto brake to its off position. We'll just take this gate right here. I'm not sure that there is auto gate, but nonetheless we'll park right here. Yeah, so there's not auto brake. As we most of the times do, we will go ahead and vector ourselves in and try not to smash into the terminal. Alright, we can go ahead and come to a complete stop here, set our parking brake, kill our engines. Oh jeez, I did not put my flaps up. Alright, we can do that now, and before we shut down engine 2, we can go ahead and let our flaps come up. Alright guys, our flaps are up, my bad. Go ahead and clear this guy, and now we can shut down engine 2. Our generators are already on for the APU, so we're set there. Alright, electric hydraulic pumps can come off. We can turn on our APU bleed window heaters. Can come off. Not much else to do. We can go ahead and turn off our yaw damper and our IRSs because whatever, this is the last flight of the day. We can turn the anti-collision light off. Position light can just go to off. And we can just go ahead and leave it there. Alright guys, after that landing, not gonna lie, I swear I'm off my game because I really did not follow those after landing checklists. But nonetheless, that is going to mark the end of our video. I do want to thank you guys so much for watching the video, and as always, subscribe if you're not, and even if you are not, do be sure to hit that like button as it would really help me out. The total flight time for today's flight was 33 minutes. Once again, guys, I want to thank you all very much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed it, and once again, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow in a brand new video.